We often track two opposites, the figure draped in pristine religious garments and the one slumped in shadows, visibly broken by addiction and failure. By default, we run a simple calculation. We assign salvation to the outwardly pious and assume absolute doom for those who have visibly fallen. But this calculation ignores the internal reality. A flawless outward appearance can easily mask a heart that has become uglier than a scavenger, arrogant enough to view other people as mere insects destined for hell. Meanwhile, that struggling addict might possess a quiet, desperately honest heart, a mind that falls silent and listens with absolute sincerity the moment the truth is mentioned. If the Creator bypasses our superficial resume of actions, represented here by this disorganized web, what defines the glowing core that actually measures our worth? Human judgment is limited to the surface. Spiritual reality operates on an invisible metric of honesty that renders our aesthetic labels irrelevant. That metric is inner honesty. Divine mercy is drawn to this specific trait, regardless of how many mistakes a person has recorded. There is a historical account of a man whose sins were so vast, he ordered his sons to burn his corpse and scatter his ashes across the wind and sea. He hoped to disappear entirely to evade God's wrath. Once resurrected, the Creator asked him directly why he attempted such a desperate erasure of his own existence. The man offered no excuses at all. He admitted he was driven by absolute, unvarnished fear of his Creator. That single moment of brutal honesty resulted in his total forgiveness. We see the same logic in the story of a marginalized sex worker. She saw a dog dying of thirst and used her own shoe to pull water from a well. A single, unfiltered spark of compassion earned her paradise. This chart captures the human dilemma, a massive tower of past sins dwarfing a single tiny dot of honest action. In divine logic, sincerity reweights the scale. This single point of truth overbalances a lifetime of mistakes, shattering the record of the past. Divine forgiveness ignores the transaction of counting deeds, responding instead to a sudden flash of internal truth. If honest people are so valued, why does their path often involve the most intense suffering? The companion Salman al-Farsi compared the suffering of a dishonest soul to a tied camel. A blind camel is tied up and later released, never understanding why it was constrained or why it was freed. Without inner honesty, hardship is just senseless, confusing noise. For the sincere heart, hardship serves as a deliberate alarm clock, striking the path to redirect the soul towards safety before it hits a hazard. When Prophet Musa sat exhausted under a tree with nothing, or when Prophet Ayub suffered through a years-long illness, these weren't moments of abandonment. They were mechanisms pulling them closer to God. Disaster and pain lose their random cruelty when they become the very beacons that guide a sincere person home. Prophet Ayub's life highlights a striking contrast, a decaying exterior hiding a perfectly pure interior. Just imagine for a moment if our reality were completely inverted, if our physical bodies suddenly became the outward clothing of our invisible souls, if we wore our intentions as skin. The internal rot of hypocrisy and arrogance would make many of us too foul-smelling to stand near. We prioritize the aesthetic of the body while the soul decays. Ayub was the opposite. While disease ravaged his skin, his soul remained immaculately clean and fiercely honest. This level of honesty elevates a human being beyond their physical limitations. We saw this elevation at the beginning, when God gave Adam knowledge that even the angels didn't possess, commanding them to bow before a human. You don't need a sinless record to succeed. You only need a single, unbreakable kernel of brutal honesty toward your Creator to completely rewrite your entire spiritual trajectory. The universe is built to ensure that a sincere heart is never abandoned.